So, you've probably heard the name Pi Network floating around the internet. It's been one of those projects that has quietly, or maybe not so quietly, built up a massive following. We're talking tens of millions of users. The core idea behind Pi was always pretty simple and, honestly, pretty ambitious. It aimed to create a cryptocurrency that anyone could mine right from their smartphone. No expensive, power-hungry computers needed. No complicated setups that require a degree in computer science. Download the app. Tap a button once a day, and you're contributing to the network and earning Pi coins. This accessibility is the secret sauce behind its incredible growth. The whole premise was built on making crypto less intimidating for the average person. Bitcoin mining is now an industrial-scale operation. Ethereum requires specialized hardware. Pi Network flipped that script entirely. It wanted to put the power back into the hands of a global, decentralized community. By tapping a button daily, users perform a sort of proof of presence, securing the network in a lightweight, energy-efficient way. This approach has attracted a huge, diverse group of people from all over the world, many of whom had never touched cryptocurrency before. It's a low-barrier entry into a very complex world, and that's a powerful thing. This strategy has been both its biggest strength and the source of a lot of skepticism. For years, the community has been patiently mining, accumulating coins that exist within a closed ecosystem. The value of Pi has been purely speculative, a promise of what's to come once the network fully launches its mainnet. People have been asking the big question for a long time: when does this become real? When can we actually use these coins for something tangible? The project has been in this enclosed mainnet phase where the blockchain is live but firewalled from the outside world, allowing developers to build and test apps without external interference. And that brings us to today, September 5th, 2025. The long wait and the constant speculation are finally starting to intersect with real-world utility. Something new just dropped, and it's making everyone in the Pi community, and even some outside of it, sit up and pay attention. The Pi core team, along with a third-party developer, has officially announced the launch of the very first DeFi game on the Pi network. This isn't just another simple app or a test marketplace. This is a full-fledged decentralized finance application wrapped in the accessible package of a game. It's a huge step forward for the ecosystem and the first real test of its capabilities. Before we dive into the specifics of Pi's new game, let's take a step back and talk about what a DeFi game even is. The term sounds complicated, but the concept is pretty straightforward when you break it down. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. It's basically a system of financial tools and services built on a blockchain without any banks or central authorities in the middle. Think of things like lending, borrowing, and earning interest, but all run by code. A DeFi game takes these financial concepts and puts them into a fun, interactive package. Instead of filling out forms, you're commanding spaceships or managing a fantasy farm. The core idea is play to earn, or in this case, maybe stake to earn. In traditional video games, you might spend money on in-game items, but you never truly own them. The company does. In a DeFi game, the items you earn, whether it's a rare sword, a piece of land, or a cool spaceship, are actual crypto assets, often in the form of NFTs or non-fungible tokens. You own them. You can trade them, sell them, or use them in the game to earn more crypto. The finance part comes from actions like staking, where you lock up your crypto to support the game's network and earn rewards, similar to earning interest in a savings account. Let's use an analogy. Imagine you're playing a board game like Monopoly. In the traditional version, the money is just paper. It has no value outside the game. In a DeFi version of Monopoly, the money you earn could be a real cryptocurrency. The properties you buy could be NFTs that you own in your digital wallet. If you collect all the railroads, you might earn passive income from other players who land on them. It blends the fun of gaming with real economic principles and ownership. This model has become incredibly popular in the crypto space with games like Axie Infinity, which created a whole digital economy for its players. So, when we say Pi is launching a DeFi game, it means they are introducing an application where your Pi coins become an active part of the gameplay. You're not just spending them, you're using them strategically to interact with a financial system. This is a huge step up from simple transactions. It involves smart contracts, self-executing agreements written in code, that manage the game's rules and payouts automatically and transparently on the blockchain. It's a way to introduce millions of Pi users to sophisticated financial concepts in a way that feels engaging and less intimidating than a traditional trading platform. So how does Pi Galaxy Raiders actually work? From what we've gathered, the game is designed to be very accessible. You don't need to be a DeFi expert to get started. It's inside the Pi browser, the gateway to Pi apps. Navigate to the game and you see your fleet dashboard. Every user starts with a basic scout ship. The core loop is staking. Staking equals signs sending ships on resource missions. You choose how much Pi to load as fuel using the mission slider. That locks your Pi for a set period. Option: a 7-day mission, a 30-day mission, a 90-day expedition. The longer the mission and the more Pi you stake, the greater the potential rewards. Rewards are more Pi coins and special in-game items, ship blueprints, upgrade modules. These are NFTs. Collect blueprints to build bigger ships like a cargo hauler or a stellar cruiser. Bigger ships unlock higher rewards and better missions. Stake Pi to earn rewards, use rewards to upgrade ships, and use upgraded ships to earn even more rewards. The game ties into Pi mining. Your base mining rate or lockups may give bonuses. It encourages activity across the Pi app and the game. All actions are enforced by smart contracts on the Pi blockchain. Sending a ship is signing a contract that locks Pi and guarantees rewards. It's a gamified intro to staking for millions. This launch is more than just a bit of fun for the community. It's a fundamentally important moment for the entire Pi network, and there are a few key reasons why. First and foremost, it's all about utility. For years, the biggest criticism leveled against Pi has been, what can you actually do with it? The coin had no use case beyond accumulation. Pi Galaxy Raiders provides the first concrete, compelling answer. It gives millions of Pi coins a purpose. Users can now use their holdings to interact. Users can now use their holdings to strategize. Users can now use their holdings to earn. This transforms Pi from a speculative asset into a functional coin within its own ecosystem. Second, this is a major technical stress test for the Pi blockchain. A DeFi game isn't simple. The network must handle thousands, potentially millions of transactions and smart contract calls smoothly and securely. It needs to manage staking locks. It needs to calculate rewards. It needs to mint NFTs without getting bogged down or compromised. If the network survives, it's a powerful proof of concept. That proof shows developers Pi can host sophisticated decentralized apps, which could attract more projects and enrich the ecosystem. Third, it's a massive educational tool. DeFi can be complex and intimidating: staking, liquidity pools, impermanent loss, smart contracts. Pi wraps those concepts in a simple, engaging game, a DeFi 101 for 50 million plus users. People will learn staking by sending a spaceship on a mission, not by navigating a confusing financial dashboard. That could onboard a huge new wave into DeFi in a relatively safe, enclosed environment. Finally, this move builds a self-sustaining economy before opening to the wider crypto world. By creating internal utility and circulation, Pi builds value from the inside out. When Open Mainnet launches and Pi trades on external exchanges, price won't be pure speculation. It will be supported by a functional economy where Pi is used for goods, Pi is used for services, Pi is used for entertainment. As you can imagine, the launch of Pi Galaxy Raiders sent massive waves through the Pi community. Overwhelming excitement, cautious optimism, a healthy dose of skepticism. On platforms like Reddit in-app chat forums, the dominant feeling is pure enthusiasm. To understand if this game could impact Pi's value, we first need to talk about what a rally is in the crypto world. In simple terms, a rally is a period of sustained price increase for a cryptocurrency. It's not just a small jump, it's a strong upward trend that can last for days, weeks, months. These rallies are almost always driven by a combination of two things: fundamental developments, market sentiment, hype. A major positive news event can be the spark that lights the fire. New partnership technology upgrade launch of a key application. When a big project launches, like a new game on a network, it generates a lot of positive attention. People see the project delivering on promises and creating real utility. That builds confidence in the project's future. Confidence translates into buying pressure. People buy the coin to use it in the new app or because they believe its value will rise. For established networks, Ethereum, Solana, killer apps have often preceded big rallies by drawing new users and investment. Think of it like a snowball effect. The news breaks and early adopters jump in, social media buzzes, crypto influencers pick it up, news outlets amplify it. That creates a feedback loop called FOMO, fear of missing out. People see prices climb, worry they'll miss out, and buy in, pushing prices higher. This cycle, news hype FOMO, fuels many explosive rallies. But these rallies aren't always sustainable. Sometimes hype outpaces substance. That can lead to pump and dump. Price shoots up quickly, then crashes as early investors take profits. A healthy rally is backed by real increases in network utility and adoption. The price rise reflects actual ecosystem growth. Now, for the big question, could the launch of Pi Galaxy Raiders actually trigger a rally for Pi? This is a bit of a tricky question, mainly because Pi is not yet traded on open markets. It exists in its enclosed mainnet, so we can't see a price chart on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance. So, instead of a price rally, we should think about a value rally, or a sentiment rally. This would be a significant increase in the perceived value and demand for Pi within its own ecosystem, which could set the stage for a very strong market debut when the open mainnet launches. There are several strong arguments for why this game could cause exactly that. First, it creates real demand for the Pi coin. To play the game effectively and earn the best rewards, you need to stake Pi. This means millions of users will now have a reason to hold on to their coins and even wish they had more, rather than just waiting to cash out. By locking up a significant portion of the circulating supply in staking contracts, the game reduces the amount of Pi that's readily available. Basic economics tells us that when demand increases and supply decreases, the value of an asset tends to go up. Second, this launch drastically changes the narrative around Pi. For years, skeptics have dismissed it as a project with no substance. This game single-handedly counters that argument. While the launch of Pi Galaxy Raiders is incredibly exciting, it's crucial to look at the situation with a clear head and consider both the potential risks and the rewards. For users, the primary reward is the ability to finally use their Pi to earn more Pi. For the network, the reward is immense: proven utility, increased user engagement, a powerful demonstration of the blockchain's capabilities. Now, the risks. Immediate risk, technical. New financial software can have bugs. There is a risk of smart contract exploits that could drain staked funds. Another risk, economic. Poor reward design could cause hyperinflation of in-game assets, or hyperinflation of the Pi coin itself, devaluing rewards. Market risk tied to hype. The game is generating positive sentiment now, but that raises very high expectations. If popularity wanes or if the network doesn't follow up with strong apps, excitement can fade, and perceived value can drop. Stakers are betting on long-term success. It's a calculated risk. You're trading liquidity today for potential higher rewards later, and that future is still unwritten. So, with the successful launch of its first DeFi game, what should we be watching for next from Pi Network? This is a pivotal moment. The next few months will be critical. First, performance and evolution of Pi Galaxy Raiders. Watch how developers handle bug fixes, server load, community feedback. Second, arrival of more developers and apps. Pi Galaxy Raiders has broken the ice. It shows what's possible on Pi. Will other developers build apps? The journey continues, and the path forward is clearer than before.